A weaker person would have blown their brains out and said, this is just crazy. This doesn't make any sense. Some of y'all are there right now. Your life does not make any sense. You're in the middle of your life and it doesn't make any sense because you got thoughts over here, but your situation is over here. And you're still trying to work out some stuff from your childhood, but you're a grown man. The test of greatness is your ability to survive frustration. So God will put greatness in isolation, which creates frustration, because you have to be able to survive frustration in order to be eligible to become a leader. Because if you can't handle internal frustration, you sure can't handle external frustration. If frustration on the inside is going to make you quit, what in the world are you going to do when you have frustration on the outside? So when God is getting you ready for frustration on the outside, he lets you deal with a lot of frustration on the inside so that you can learn how to be frustrated and still be faithful, frustrated and still be consistent. Anytime you failed at doing something you was trying to do, there is a period where you try to talk yourself out of ever wanting to do that again. Let me tell you something. There's a scripture in Genesis. When the first woman had the first baby, the Bible said, with much travail shall she bring forth children. The pain was bad enough to make the first mother have the first baby. Never, Adam, don't even come over here. It talks about her pain, and then in the next verse says, but her desire shall be to her husband. Why does it say that? If anytime there's great pain, God puts great desire so that your mission doesn't die because of the pain you confront. If there were not desire to equalize the pain, then the earth would not be inhabited. But the reason the earth is inhabited is after that the pain subsides, the desire continues. So after a while, the desire becomes so strong that you forget about the pain and you have the courage to try again. The family business, everything's going good. And then God will send a burning bush, the return of passion. The burning bush is the return of passion. Who has a passion that will not die. You've had bad experience after bad experience after bad experience after bad experience. You tried to talk yourself out of wanting and talk yourself out of believing. Tried to fit in with the people around you, blend into the scenery. Shut your mouth, girl, don't say nothing. Last time you said something, you got in trouble. Just act like everybody else and be cool and maybe they'll like you. But the problem is there's a burning desire down inside of you that will not shut up. Touch somebody and say, I'm on fire.
So hey! In today's video, I'm actually partnering with CUROLOGY to give you guys a testimonial of my own experience with CUROLOGY, which is a skincare brand. It's been a part of my skincare routine since like 2020, and it's now 2022, so 2 years. CUROLOGY has helped me in multiple ways, not only just clearing my skin, but also helping me bring that confidence back into my life that I need. I have been using CUROLOGY since like 2020. And back in 2020, I was not sponsored by CUROLOGY. I was using my own money to pay for my services. CUROLOGY is a custom monthly subscription service. With the service, you are assigned a dermatology provider that helps you out and asks you plenty of questions to make sure that you're getting the best products that are meant for you. No matter if it's from dark spots, acne scars, or you just get any type of bad breakouts. And on top of them being a skincare providing service, they've expanded their range. Lip balms, sunscreen, makeup cleanser remover. These past few years, they've definitely expanded their brand. When I first started CUROLOGY, my skin was not in the best condition. I can only speak for myself, but I know that when my skin was not at its best potential, I did not feel my best. Those were definitely my earlier years of puberty. But luckily, my provider was able to provide me with those best meant for my skin. My first 2 months of CUROLOGY, I noticed that my skin was actually starting to break out a little bit more. I immediately wanted to stop using it because I had acne. Girl, I don't want to keep making it worse. As I started doing more research, I actually was going through that process of my skin starting to purge. And when your skin's starting to purge, it's starting to get used to all these new products. It has to take out and clean out all the bad stuff in order to soak in all the good stuff. I started to see results within a 3 to 4 month period. The Curology makes this process so much easier. I know it sounds very scary ordering a custom skincare online. I understand. It's okay. You don't need to worry because every dermatology provider at Curology is licensed. So if you're ready to get your skincare journey started today, feel free to use my link in the description bar down below where you can get your first month subscription for free, which is a small fee of $5 for shipping and handling. Thank you so much to Curology for sponsoring this video.
Don't give my love to no one. Then I take it back to the back of the dance, nice stroke, and I kinda bite though, I ho. To the left, and so if you really ain't trying to cry, we can't be texting. My queen, dog, what's up? I'm up here.
Love this song.
I gotta find peace of mind. Need to tell you mine. I'm undone because he says it's not grabbable. Love that old me is left behind. Grabbable.
Yeah, that's it right there. Only you can do it just like that, and I love. I'm so proud.
You guys, look at these flowers. Trader Joe's has been having the best selection lately. I ended up getting 3 dozens of roses as well as these. But I like to add these in with my roses so that it's not too much because roses are like staple pieces. Sometimes if they're by themselves, they can be very overbearing. This is a super berry lemonade. I ended up stopping at Whole Foods as well while I was out because I needed to re-up on milk and some fruit. Today was just a really good market day overall. Look how huge these grapefruits are. And then these are some fresh peaches. You know it's a good market day when you find a good ripe cantaloupe. If you guys have been following me since my early days of YouTube, like when I was 16, 17, a lot of you guys would know that my mental health was so horrible. Where my mental health just went down the drain right after I hit 18. I finally started to get more into a better headspace once I moved, which was almost a year ago. Yeah, I moved. It wasn't something that was made to the public. I didn't say anything about it, but I had some traumatic things that were going on in Atlanta, so I ended up moving. It's just like I felt like a burden was lifted off of my shoulders. Right now, I am going through my villain era, and it's been that way for some months now. I used to want to be so perceived a certain way, and I wanted to have people understand me, and I used to try to do things to have people understand me. And oh, who's calling me? It's not really, probably not important, but I used to go above and beyond to try to make people understand me and who I was as a person. And these past 4 months of me literally living for me, setting my boundaries, taking every precaution I needed to with me having a social media platform, I found my sense of happiness all over. I found that spark for content creeping back up on me. I wouldn't say that it went away completely, but it got to a point where I felt like I was too scared to set boundaries. As time started going on, and I started talking to more and more of my friends that are close to me. Thank God for them. Like, I really do love them. One of my closest homegirls, she was basically telling me, like, you know, Aaliyah, you see how dark you got? Oh my God, that's so weird. Anyways, Aaliyah, you don't realize how much influence you have. Even though it might be for the smallest things, like just being comfortable in your own skin, be open about your sexuality, being a minority, or maybe just the way I carry myself, or just how I speak to people, or, you know, just things like that. I immediately went into like hibernation for a month, and I just started brainstorming. I watched this sermon by T.D. Jakes. And the sermon was basically about, he wanted to give up preaching. He felt like people were just always in his business, or someone just always had something to say about him, or just things like that. And although I can't relate to everything he said, there were a few things that I took from that conversation and I applied to my life. A lot of creators, they'll go ghost from social media, and then once they come back, it's never the same. It's very easy for people to forget about you these days because there's so many incoming influencers. What I wasn't realizing is that every time I went ghost, people were still making sure to check in on me to make sure I'm doing well. Although there was some cons, I didn't realize that many people grasped onto me as a person and just who I was. And before I say anything, I just want to say, I'm not coming back to YouTube full time. I'm not even gonna promise you guys that. I'm not, because then I'd be lying. One of the things that I have been working on within myself is saying things that I don't follow through with. I ended up buying this film camera because I really love creating visuals. I know that creating content is really something that I love. I sat down and I prayed. My prayer, I was basically asking God, I was like, whatever you want me to do right now with my life, if I have mishandled it in any type of way, put it back in front of me, and I promise I won't mishandle it again. Later that week, I ended up getting like 3 major sponsorship emails, which was so crazy to me because I swear I had sponsorships coming in. They were just like hair reviews. And so once I ended up getting like major brand deals, like from CUROLOGY, Scentbird, and things like that, I was like, okay, God, I've been MIA for like 4 months. And then later on, Lauren London had came out with a podcast. In the podcast, the lady that was interviewing her ended up asking her, she was like, you know, do you ever want to go ghost? Do you just want to disappear from the media? She was like, yeah, all the time. I guess always something that crosses her mind. She can't see herself following through with it because she felt like her purpose is way higher than disappearing off the face of the earth. I definitely wrote that down in my notes, and I thought on that for some days, actually. I'm not sure what God is telling me. I'm not sure what God wants me to do with my life. Me having this platform could open me up to many more opportunities. Like, I have no clue. But I know one thing, when you can touch a lot of people, that shit's raw. And nobody can take that from you at all. There has to be a greater outcome from this platform. There's gotta be a greater purpose here on why God doesn't want me to completely disappear the way that I wanted to at one point. And I don't know if that's me getting a TV show later on down the line, like me networking with people in my line of study for school. Like, I have no clue. But I know that what I'm not going to do is question it. There are people that would literally die for my position in this world, but it doesn't work like that. Because what I had to realize was what God has for you will always be for you. I have already made the promise to myself because I set that boundary. I will not be opening up any of my social media accounts. And that's just a part of me setting my boundaries and not people pleasing. I don't care to let everyone into my life because everyone does not deserve to see that part of my life. I have to be selfish with myself. I know that my mental health is in its best state when my accounts are private and let other people assume. I'm not clearing it up. Assume what you want. Ugh, these are so heavy. Ah, they look so beautiful. Oh yeah, yeah. If y'all an OG, y'all know about the train. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just always end up living near a train. That's just nothing new. Isn't she so pretty? I love her. This is probably one of my favorite arrangements I've ever made. So remember I told you guys that I got a film camera or a camcorder, same thing. Ever since I got this, I've just been recording just to record, literally. And I went on this little camping trip. So cool. It was kind of like a getaway near Houston. It was so fun. I'm not sure what I want to do with the content from this trip, but I think I want to do something on TikTok. These past few months that I've been gone, I've been filming, been taking visuals, and they're no more than 6 minutes after being edited, but they're like cool little visuals, and I have been uploading them to my channel as unlisted and giving my friends the links to watch them, just capturing the moment. Oh my gosh, hold on. Here's this video where Vivi, she tried to jump over, okay. We drove past some cows, and Vivi has this really bad habit of, if I roll the window down too much and there is an animal of any sort, dog, cat, cow, frog, anything, she wants to get out and she wants to play. She's just very playful. So she's seen these cows and this girl tried to jump out the window. I cannot make this up.